Welcome back, guys, and welcome to the outdoors, or in this case, the kitchen. We are here on our family retreat, my dad's memorial get-together, and today we have actually our first video takeover. Let me introduce you, and which you probably haven't seen already, from our last August, right? August hunt.
Last month.
Where Judith, this is my daughter Judith Goat. She actually harvested the goat that we'll be preparing to today. So it's kind of my rendition on our traditional chivo en fricassé, which is our kind of our Spanish goat stew with a curry flair to it. So it's kind of what I've done for the last couple of years, memory of my dad, and we're going to go ahead and finish the tradition. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Judith. She's going to go ahead and go over all our ingredients that we have today, and then we'll go ahead and start off the cooking video. Any questions?
No, let's get
Excited?
to it. Yeah,
Sure? You got
I'm excited to learn.
Let's do it. All right.
All right, everyone, I'm gonna go through all of the ingredients we'll use to make our goat curry, and then we'll go.
Remember, this is our Spanish goat curry.
Chivo en fricassé.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here we have red onion, cebolla, potato, papas, carrots, zanahoria, tomate, tomatoes, cilantro. We have a little bit of tomato sauce, salsa de tomate, homemade sofrito, which is the best from my titi. She brought it from across the states. Garlic paste, pasta de ajo. We have a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, aceite de oliva, some red wine, vino.
So the secret to what makes it the Spanish chivo en fricassé is always going to be the wine or the alcohol. Some people use dark rum, some people use beer. I personally like using the red wine, and not just cheap cooking wine. I like anything that you really like, then that's what we're going to use to cook.
That
so
has
that's
good
kind of our
taste.
secret ingredient right there.
Yeah. And we have some adobo with cumin, some curry, some more sazon de Goya, cumin, a little bit of garlic powder, bay leaves, oregano, paprika, and coriander.
Great. So let's go ahead and get it started.
All right, so we're gonna coat the bottom with a little bit of olive oil, un poquito de aceite de oliva, just the bottom. Once it heats up, then we are going to be adding some a little bit more.
That's good. That's good. So what I want you to do next is I want you to go ahead. We're gonna wait for this to come to heat up, and then our secret thing is that we're gonna add a little bit of granulated sugar, and that's gonna help with the flavor of. Obviously, we have a whole bunch of other spices, but this is definitely gonna help with the flavor. And this is an older goat, so the older goat has the meat's gonna be a little bit tougher, and it's also gonna have almost like a wild smell to it. This is gonna help seal that off. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that this oil is very, very hot. We're going to put some of this sugar in there, and we're going to stir the sugar until it turns brown. Once it turns brown, then we'll go ahead and start adding our other flavors. So I think it's pretty hot now, so go ahead and start adding some of that sugar.
That's good.
Can't we help you yet?
There you go. Thank you. And just
Just a little bit of
seal
sugar.
the bottom.
Just a little bit. I'll tell you when. That's good. That's good right there.
All right.
All right. Now we're gonna go ahead and start. Moving that all around. So that way, once we see that the sugar is gonna turn caramelized, right? It's gonna turn a little bit. Yeah. You see how it's gonna pull together? Yeah. We're just waiting for that. Once it changes a little bit of color, then we're gonna add our sofrito. All right, I think we're ready for our sofrito now, Joey. So put this in there. There we go.
2, 3.
Yeah, about 3. Half teaspoon. Keep going. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Now go ahead and start stirring it. Stirring it. All right, Judith, I think we're ready now. So we're gonna go ahead and add our curry powder.
Okay.
And we're just gonna use a little bit. We want to make sure that we start burning the curry just so we can get all the essence and all the flavors out. So go ahead and pour some until I tell you. And that's good right there. Okay, now we're gonna add
Salsa de tomate, a little bit of tomato sauce. So about 1.5 cans of tomato sauce.
Yep.
1 lata y media de salsa de tomate.
Perfect.
Vamos a mezclarlo.
Yep. Oh, it smells good.
It does smell so good. Y vamos a poner 2 paquetes.
By the way, this is my titi here. She came from Tennessee. Judith, we're gonna make a little toast here.
Yay!
It's her birthday too, Titi. How old are you now?
Birthday.
39?
35.
35. Oh, salud.
Salud.
All right, so how many sazon you gonna put in there?
2 paquetes de sazón Goya.
And guys, you can find this at any Spanish. We got this at Publix, so there's a little ethnic section here that you can kind of get this as well too.
All right.
All right, looking good. Smells good.
It does smell so good.
All right.
Something about homemade sofrito, you could just tell the difference between store-bought and homemade. Oh my goodness.
So I think now we're ready to start throwing in our chihuahua. And this is our chihuahua right here. We have, I don't even know how many pounds this is. We're gonna make it all fit into this one pan. We have some out here that we're gonna roast. I saw some video that in Africa they usually take and they grill the goat. We're gonna try that for our first time. We'll go and show you that at the end of the day, at the end of the video, and we'll give you our rendition, our take on how it is. So for right now, we're gonna go ahead and add the chihuahua right now.
So we'll just drop this in?
Yeah, slowly. Adding it in.
Thank
And again, this chihuahua's been marinating for about, I want to say exactly a little bit more over 24 hours. And I just washed it in white vinegar and some sour orange. And then after that, I put a little bit of the yogurt. And then I added onions, a little bit of oil, a little bit more vinegar, and then some garlic as well. And I just let it marinate for 24 hours at least, but it's been sitting for a little bit more than 24 hours. So here we are. We're gonna go ahead and add this, and then we're gonna stir it. So again, we added all the chihuahua. We're gonna stir it in, and then we're just gonna let this here sit, and it's gonna render out. It's gonna, create its own liquid. And then once it comes to a boil, then every 30 minutes or every 15 minutes, we're gonna keep stirring it so it doesn't stick to the bottom. Ready?
Okay.
Go.
All right, guys, so now we are just turning it in and making sure that all of the goat is coated with everything that we added in the beginning. Oh, it's heavy.
It's heavy. You know what? It smells so good already.
It does.
So again, this has been marinating for a little over 24 hours. We're gonna go ahead and cook this. Right now it's in high. We wanna bring this to a boil. And then we're just gonna let it sit. It's gonna release its own juices. And we're gonna keep stirring it every 15 minutes. It's gonna take about 4 hours for us to cook this. And again, once it releases its own juices, we're not gonna add any water to it. Once it releases its own juices, then you're gonna see that it's gonna wind up cooking itself, and it's going to become more tender, and that's what we're looking for. For the longer that we need to cook this to ensure that it's going to be tender, it's not going to be the meat's not going to be tough. It's going to be like fall off the bone soft. So we're in a good place right now. At our 2 hour mark, it's going to take about 4 hours. So our 2 hour mark, we're going to go ahead and add all our vegetables in it. And then again, right, we're not using a lot of vegetables because we want the star of the show to be the goat that this one was able to harvest, and all we're going to use the vegetable is just so it could thicken the stock. What do you think?
I'm excited. It smells so good.
It does smell good. So here we are.
I think everything is fairly coated now.
Yeah. So we're not gonna put a cover also on it. We're gonna leave it open like this. We're gonna let it boil. One of the things that I've always done is, let it boil, and so that way it'll help with the gaminess of the meat itself too. So, all right, guys, we'll see you back in 15 minutes.
All right, everyone, we're back. The goat has come to a boil, so we are gonna start adding in our seasoning. So we'll start with a little bit of oregano, un poquito de oregano, 2 to 3 bay leaves, 3 hojas de laurel, a little bit of coriander.
Julie just found out what coriander is in Spanish. What's coriander?
Grounded culantro.
Yeah, that's right.
I told him I never used this, but now I will have to start. A little bit of garlic, un poquito de ajo, polvo de ajo.
Ajo molido, yeah.
Oh, okay. A little bit of cumin, comino molido. A little heavier on the paprika, give it some nice spice. Okay. Homemade garlic paste. Like I said with the sofrito, there's nothing compared to homemade seasonings. About a spoon,
Yeah,
or
that's good. We're going
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Media cuchara de pasta de ajo.
And just to recap, look at the merch you got going on. What's up with that?
It was a gift from a special man in my life.
Nice.
All right, and then some more curry. I'm gonna go a little heavier on this. All-purpose seasoning, or like we call it, adobo. And then sazon completa, which is just a bunch of seasonings until our ancestors tell us to stop. Good? All right, now we can mix it in. Yeah, now it's starting to smell like how it smells when I walk into your house and I'm ready to eat.
That's good. So right about this time, we're about maybe an hour and 30 minutes into this cooking. We're still got about another hour and a half to go, maybe a little bit more. We're looking for the meat to be very tender and just to kind of break apart. So at this point, what we want to do is, once we have all these seasonings, we want to go ahead and cover it. So then in about another 30 to 40 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and add our vegetables. For right now, we're gonna go ahead and cut away here. We're gonna cover it, and then we're gonna let it sit for another 30 to 40 minutes.
All right, so now we will be adding all of the vegetables into the curry. So we'll have half a bowl of carrots, an entire bowl of diced potatoes, some diced tomatoes, red onion, and we're gonna use the cilantro here. We'll cut off at the head and just use the stems for now, and we'll use the top of the cilantro for garnish at the end. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut right here.
And this is about 3 medium-sized carrots, about 4 medium-sized potatoes, 2 tomatoes, and then about 1 red onion.
1 red onion. All right. Oh, should I dice it here or?
Yeah. Go ahead and cut them up in there.
All right, so we'll save this for later.
All right. So you got the pot, right?
Yes. All right, so like we said, we're gonna use the stem of 1 bundle of cilantro, about 2 diced tomatoes.
It looks like rough chop too.
roughly chopped, and 1 onion, thinly sliced. All right, then we have about 3 small diced carrots. And how many potatoes did we say?
I think about 4 medium-sized potatoes.
4 medium-sized white potatoes. All right, now we're just going to softly fold.
As you can see, we haven't added any water to this. This is all the water that you see here is actually what the goat has released. And again, right, because we want this to be it's a longer process because we want the meat to soften up. So we're gonna go, and once we have everything stirred here, we're gonna see how much water we're gonna add, and then we're just gonna keep cooking it for another hour and a half probably, and then where we start looking at what the tenderness is of the goat. But at this point, we're gonna go ahead and wait another 15 minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead add the wine that we're gonna use for this part of the recipe. All right, it's looking good. Smells good? Mm-hmm. All right, see you back in a bit.
All right, guys, so now becomes the most important part, which is adding the red wine to the goat. And so I have my titi here because we've been going and we've been doing this as a family and learning how to make this delicious meal. So I want you to know, very important, you're gonna divide 3 cups of red wine. 1, 2, 3. Okay, perfect. So this one is for us, and the rest goes to the goat. Cheers.
Woohoo! Cheers.
1 glass of wine keeps the doctor away, I think is what they say.
Good. All right, so let's see how this is looking. All right, we stir.
Oh my goodness. The fresh vegetables in there with the tomato and everything. Looks amazing.
All right, now we just gotta let those vegetables soften up, and I think we'll be ready. So we're almost there.
Almost there, guys. All right, so here we have the final result. It's been about 4 hours now since we started this process, and we're super excited to try it.
Cook that.
Right.
Nice. Okay. So while we're serving here today, Titi, what you got here in your plate?
Rice, beans, and yuca con mojo.
Nice, all right.
So we'll put it in this little section here.
Oh yeah, that's good. All right.
Buen
So here?
provecho.
Venga si gusta.
How's that you look tender?
We've been tasting it throughout this whole process, and it really didn't take much for it to tenderize and everything. Cheers.
Cheers.
Like butter, it's really soft.
Titi, this is the one that counts.
A very good taste.
So from your last time that you had chivo and fricassé to this chivo here, what do you think? What's the difference?
It's very, very good.
Good?
No,
Your honest
it's really
opinion.
good. No, it's really good. Like this chivo here for me is it's not only moist, but it's very soft. Like it melts in your mouth.
Tastes like beef.
Nice.
Steak, yes.
Yeah.
Nice. And I think going from the traditional chivo and fricassé to this one is that we added a little bit of the curry into it, but we maintained the same process of using the wine and all this, traditional Latino seasoning in it. So, all right, good. So I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. and we'll call it a day, right? So, you know, we'll make sure that if you are first time here at this channel, that you like and subscribe, and then that way you get, you know, any other updates that we have. But for our first video takeover, how do you think you did?
Good. Next time, I want to shoot deer and cook it with you too.
Yes. Good job. All right, and thank you for my Titi who came down from Tennessee. Love you, and I hope that you enjoyed it too.
Love you too. Love you.
No,
The beans came out good too.
Beans are off the hook. All right, it's time for me to eat too. So I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Wow, they came out really good.